All right, you guys. I just had to get the oxygen all hooked up and set up. All right, so it's been a while, guys. I haven't blown glass since Balloon Fiesta, which was um, what's today? Today's November 5th. Balloon Fiesta started, I believe, on November 9th. So it's been almost an entire month, guys, that I've blown glass. So let's get started here and make some stuff. Right, I'm sure we're gonna have to clean up a lot of dust off the glass. It's been a while. I was thinking I might as well go live on Facebook too. We're live here on YouTube right now. So yeah, let's do this. Okay. Okay. Let's get this set up. All right. Let's make sure this isn't in y'all's way here. I'm gonna bring this back where it's supposed to be. Sorta. Okay. Almost. All right. There we go. That's better. Cool. All right. So now we're live here. Oh, make sure you keep that safe. All right. I'm not sure what I'm gonna make today, guys. So what's going on? Welcome, welcome. Just getting started here. We're live on YouTube and we're also live here on Facebook. So it's been a while. Today is the first Sunday Knob Hill Shop and Stroll. Every first Sunday of the month since February of this year. There's been a shop and stroll, and we've been at, I believe, every single one. I don't think we've missed a single one yet. Maybe we missed. Oh, actually, no, that's not true. We did miss one. We missed the one when our friend Manny passed, and we were gonna set up in front of his shop, and instead we were more concerned about what was going on with his health and him being in the hospital and things like that. So Yeah, and unfortunately we lost. We lost him. So we're gonna get started today. Make some things. I have no idea what I'm gonna make yet, or what colors I have available right away. Although I am feeling. Let's see, what color is that? Is that blue? Or is that black? That looks black. That looks like onyx actually. Put that to the side. There's the cobalt. Alright. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, so a lot of this glass is probably dusty and dirty, so let's get our Norwex OptiCloth as always to get rid of all the dirt, dust, and debris. Everything, make sure it's all wiped down, which really helps with getting rid of all the fingerprints. There's a lot of glass that I need to make now, guys. So we got the oxygen hooked up. It's all ready. Got the we got the pressure all set. 20 pounds of pressure is what I'm working with today. What I always work with. Got the 20 psi. Just moving a few things out of the way here. Cleaning up some stuff. Alright, let's get started, guys. Oh, that's the very last of that pink right there. There's no more of that. So we got discontinued colors right here. We have that pink, and we have this glow in the dark. And they are both discontinued. They've been discontinued for like 3 years, and I just found out recently. So I won't be using those anymore, unfortunately. So no more glow in the dark glass, guys. If you were able to get glow in the dark glass from me in the last 2 or 3 years, good job. You were able to grab it before I realized that it was no more. So this is the very last. Well, that's not true. I got one more. But this is the last of the flat back hot air balloon necklaces that I make. As you can see, that one's got a cool little spiral on it. So that's the last one. But I'll be making tons more, guys. We're going to get glass balloons going year-round now. It's going to be really nice, actually. And hopefully, by next year, Balloon Fiesta, we will have glass balloons in the Albuquerque Balloon Museum gift shop. I've been working on that for years. You don't even know how long. For many, many years. I've actually had them in the museum gift shop for a while. And then, you know how life is. Things go different directions and different ways, and my energy goes into other things. But you know what? This is something that I figured out recently. We're gonna make this happen, and we're gonna go big with these glass balloons, and we're gonna go worldwide with these. We've already gone worldwide with the drop of water. Ever since I started blowing glass in 1995, you know, right away within the first like year or two, I started having big wholesale account orders, and I was selling to the Zone Smoke Shop, which then became the Zone Enterprises, and they were sending our glass out to Japan, I believe, right away. So my glass has been worldwide ever since I've been blowing glass, pretty much. You know, maybe 97, but I'm thinking right away, probably within the first year, 96, I already have my glass going to Japan, probably. So Gardenia glass has been global for pretty much as long as I've been blowing glass. Pretty cool. But Gardenia glass, the name, and all the other side entities like glass balloons, the drop of water, glass jellyfish jewelry. I don't know what else I have. The UFO pipe, all the different side. They're basically trademarked on the side. Each individual product, which is a line of Gardenia glass. All right, there you go, stringer. Pulling stringers here. So now we're going to add a little bit of blue on top of this. I believe it's caramel or caramel, however you want to say it. Caramel, caramel. Everyone's got their own ways. Potato, apples, oranges. All right, so I'm going to get started on making just some simple mushroom pendants real quick while we're letting the kiln get up to temperature here. And I need to make some really nice mushrooms. And I'm thinking we might even try to make some jellyfish, but I don't have too much time today, guys. Only got a couple hours here before I need to actually get started on packing up and getting ready to go. But I know that I don't have much inventory, so I'm going to make as many of these as I can right now, just in case. We're in the Christmas gift shopping season right now, and then of course, after Thanksgiving, then we always have the Black Friday sales coming off. But pretty much, once November hits, right after Halloween, we go into Christmas. Thanksgiving, of course, is Thanksgiving, but we go into Christmas pretty much right away. Start making a lot of stuff. Start preparing for all the different holiday markets and different things like that. So one thing that I want to let y'all know, I know I've spoke about this before. I've announced it already, but Gardenia glass has been set up for many years, vending, selling all the different things. The drop of water, selling the glass balloons, selling all kinds of different beautiful gifts, right? And then my wife, she's been making a whole bunch of beautiful things as well. She's a jeweler. She's been making a lot of gifts too. But also, she's recently got into making these beautiful handmade greeting cards. Like birthday cards, Christmas, Halloween, Thanksgiving, all the different occasions. She's making these really awesome handmade, handcrafted greeting cards. And so, with what we've been doing already, selling all these gifts, and now we've got cards, we now got the gift cards. We got gifts and the cards. So I am now working on a new website. We already have the domain name set up, but it's not live yet, so I won't promote that until it's all set up and live and we're ready to take orders. And so you'll be able to order a one-stop shop where you go and you get your gifts and you get your greeting cards. So if you got a birthday coming up and you need to buy someone something, well, we got gifts for all ages, from the littlest ones all the way up to the picky teenagers. Someone asked me yesterday, what do you get a 16-year-old I'm like, I sell beautiful glass jewelry and other things that teenagers love. Depending on what they're into. If they're a guitarist, I can make them a guitar slide. If they're females or, well, males too, but mostly, females love jewelry and love to wear earrings, especially if their ears are already pierced at 16. So I make all kinds of really, really nice different jewelry and things like that. And so, yeah, for all sorts of different ages, and for all the older generations, there's a lot of the older generation that they just love glass. They're collectors of glass. They've been collecting glass since, the 40s, the 50s, all the old school glass. And when they get to see like hand blown glass that's new today, they simply just love it. And so you can get, even your grandma would love some hand blown glass. So we have all kinds of different things. We got the gifts, and we got all the different greeting cards. And if you need a special card made, well, you can ask my wife Serena about making a special handmade, customized card. Maybe you got something special you want to have it say. Or, what I always tell is just leave it blank on the inside, and they can write whatever they want. It's always nice to get a little poem or a little beautiful saying inside the card. But when someone has a space to hand write something, I think that's even more. It's more personal at that point. You get to hand write your grandmother something, or your mom, or your brother or sister, whoever, best friend, whoever it is that you're giving a card to. And then we can also customize gifts. If we got something that you like, but it's not the specific color, or maybe it's not the specific, specific item that you're really looking for. Maybe you like the mushrooms, but you prefer them in earrings for your mom or something like that. Well, we can always custom make you some earrings, or you need a matching set, earrings and necklace. We can always do that for you. If you're a guitarist, I can make you guitar slides, acoustic guitar string pegs. I've made glass guitar picks, but I don't know if that's something that's really tried and true yet. Something I guess I can always sell a glass guitar pick just for fun, but for use, I don't know. They do work. So yeah, we always got all kinds of gifts, and we got the cards too. So you need a custom card, like maybe there's a birthday card she's got, but you need one in blue instead of red, or you need one in pink instead of yellow, or your best friend really loves rainbow colors, and so you want a unicorn rainbow, right? Birthday card, something like that. So we can definitely customize your gifts and your cards. We can even match them to where the card, the greeting card, could match the color of. So I can also do a line where we're doing simple mushrooms and spirals and flowers, and we can keep it to where, let me show you. We'll do a simple, like let's say your friend loves, loves yellow. And so we'll be like, all right, and maybe loves a little bit of green. You're like, okay, you love yellow and you love green. All right. Well, let's make you a little yellow and green mushroom. Have I ever made a yellow and green mushroom before? I don't think so. So this is what I'm talking about. You can get anything you like, custom made. To be like, oh yeah, I got that made specifically for you. You know? How much more special of a gift is that than to actually have the artist make it specifically for you, for your friend, for your mom, your best friend, your brother, your sister, you know, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your wife, all of them, right? And what do we say? Green. Like, oh yeah, green, green, green. I've never, I've never made a yellow and green mushroom before. So we're gonna do this, guys. So then we could make a card, a birthday card, or maybe it's not a birthday. Maybe you just want to say congratulations, or I love you, or I miss you, or get well soon, or whatever it is, right? And then we just make you these little gifts here too that go with it. All right. So then you want a green and yellow mushroom, right? You're like, okay, we got that for you. So if you need to come and order anything, you know, you don't have to purchase anything right away, but you can come find me today in Knob Hill. I'll be there on Silver Street, in between Bryn Mar and Wellesley. That is right there just off of Route 66. We're one block south. Silver is one block south of Central Avenue, or Route 66 right there in the heart of Knob Hill. It's just right down the street, right behind the old, what is that, Highway Hotel, across from the Monte Vista Fire Station. All right, so you wanted a green and yellow mushroom, huh? We can do that for you. We're gift card. We're gift and card. Gift plus card, right here, one-stop shop. So as I'm working on this, my wife could be working on your greeting card. And I don't know how fast she could actually make one. You know, that would be cool if she was set up right there on the spot and be like, oh, you need this one made, but in a blue? Okay, I got that for you. And bam, she pulls out all of her stuff and just makes it right there custom for you on the spot. You go walk around, go shopping, you know, of course, you know, you already paid, so you come back and you pick up your order when you're done shopping, you know, like, all right, we'll have it done in 30 minutes. Maybe she could do that within 20 or 30 minutes. I don't know how fast she can make these cards. And eventually I'll be able to have my torch out there. You know, eventually we'll have the glass blowing demonstrations live once again. I just need to get our vehicle running, or get a good running vehicle. But right now I'm working on just getting our vehicle running, or hopefully that'll happen really soon here. I just needed to get the fuel filter taken off, and I finally was able to figure that out. I got the right tool for it, and we got that removed, and now I just got to work on a couple other things. All right, so this is going to be the very first ever yellow and green mushroom. So this is now available, guys. If anyone wants it, These dual color mushrooms are $10. The single color, one color, are only $5. And I think at the end of the year, next year, some prices are going to be going up. I don't know if I'm going to bring up my mushrooms or not, but I know like my glass balloons and jellyfish and a lot of different things, the prices are going to go up a little bit, not much. But my material cost has gone up. The price of fuel, the price of oxygen, propane, those things go up. The price of glass goes up. Color, all that, it tends to go up a little bit from time to time. But if I can keep some things at the same rate, like I would love to be able to offer $5 mushrooms like forever for my entire career of blowing glass until I'm no longer here on this planet. If I can always just offer, here you go, $5 mushrooms, $5 mushrooms all day. I think it'd be good. I think it'd be cool to be able to offer that. You'd be like that 25-cent hamburger stand that people remember forever, and you still do it. All right, so this is the very first green and yellow. Being that it's green and yellow, I should probably put this one in the kiln so we don't have any sort of weird cracking or issues. I don't know. Would it have any issues? Maybe I shouldn't. We should just see if I can get away with all the others like I normally do. I mean, it's getting hand annealed. Should be alright. So on these smaller items like the mushrooms and the drop of water and things like that, I personally don't kill them. I just hand anneal them like so. And, they've been fine forever. They've never had any issues. I have pieces like this that I've done like this for, over 2 decades now. And they still survive. They didn't need to have the proper annealing in the kiln. It's not a lot of stress put into these to where you really need to worry about that. All right, well, here's the first one that we just made, as you can see right there. I don't know if you can really see that color or not. All right. So that's cool. The very first green and yellow mushroom ever. So yeah, some people may want just one color, one solid color. And the one color mushrooms I will definitely keep at $5 for now. I've been thinking about raising them up to $7. But maybe what I'll do is I'll just keep them always at $5. Keep them affordable, that way even children forever can always afford a simple $5 gift for their friends, their families, Sometimes kids, they like to order their, get their own gifts for their mom or their dad, and their parents give them an allowance, And I'd love to be able to be like, here you go, and then give them 2. Like, for you, they're buy one, get one free. And then I hook them up. That's always cool. I love being able to do those kind of things. Alright, I don't know what color this is, but we're going to turn this one into a mushroom. Is it like a purple? I think this is like a purple here. So we're going to do a solid color mushroom now. And then you can see the difference on the dual color and the solid color one. So they're all made the same. What I do is I get the clear glass molten, and then I very carefully stab this thin piece of colored glass directly in the center of the bottom. It's right there, directly in the center. Stab it into that molten glass, push it into the molten center of the rod here, and so that colored glass travels through it, you know, it just pierces right through it. And then it has nowhere else to go. So when it hits the cooler part of the glass, I mean, it's still really hot, but it's not molten. So when it reaches the cooler or the solid glass, the color has nowhere else to go. It's penetrating through, so then it hits like a wall, and it goes on both sides, like it puts it like boom, bursts open, and then the glass like spreads out, and the more you push it in, the more it turns into a mushroom cap on top. It's like an implosion. The color is imploding on the inside of the clear glass, and then that's how it creates that mushroom cap. So if I can push it just right, I can get that mushroom cap to make a really big, beautiful cap on there. Or I can make them really small, you know, depending on how deep, how much force that I put into it. Mushrooms are really cool. It's one of the first things I ever learned how to make. And that's why I'd love to be able to just keep them always at $5 forever. And just keep them affordable to those, you know, especially to children. They like to, like I said, they like to buy their own relatives and friends and family gifts, you know. Everyone's always giving them birthday and Christmas gifts and things. And they like to do that, you know. They like to be able to give back. Once they have their own allowance, they start making their own money somehow. You know, maybe grandpa needs a little help in the yard. He gives you an extra $5 or $10 or whatever. Now, here's a nickel, sonny. Don't go spend it in all one place. Alright, so as you can see, no matter what, whether they're one solid color or if I put two colors in and adding that little dot of color right on top of it before I stab it, it really isn't much more time. So to keep these as 5, but then have the double, the 2 color mushrooms at 10, you know, that then saves me from having to sell these for 7. I just sell those for 10 now. And anything that's 10 is 3 for 20 always. Usually anything that's 5 is 3 for 10. I try to do like those specials. Should be 3 for 12, but or 5 for 20. Alright, so one thing that I wanted to also make was I wanted to have a bunch of hot air balloons with me today. I don't know how much time I have, but I wanted to at least have a few mushrooms made. So during the balloon fiesta, while I was out there crewing with Polar Dawn and Dawn Patrol, we're out there every day. You know, I almost didn't make it on the very last day on Sunday, but was able to make it, fortunately. And I had all my glass balloons out there, and pretty much within like the first 3 days, I sold out. And so, you know, the last few days, I was just walking around trying to get those custom orders to all the people. And this year, I was just smart about it. I just knew I wasn't going to try to work my butt off every night and try to make like a dozen orders, you know, a dozen different balloons every night after the Balloon Fiesta. I just figured, you know, if I can make them, I can make them. And if I can't, then I'll have them ready and I can ship them to people. So this year, we're set to do shipping. And also, people ordered them at Balloon Fiesta for next year's Balloon Fiesta. And that's pretty cool. Oh, I see some people are watching here. What inspired you to take up glass blowing? That's a really awesome question, Barbara. And good morning to you. So what got me to take up glass blowing? When I was in high school, I was always taking all these different art classes, right? Even in middle school, you know, I had wood shop, wood carving, a bunch of different like art classes, drawing. And in high school, I had like drawing, painting, photography, pottery, you know, all the different art classes. I've always been an artist my entire life. And after high school, well, actually during my last year, which I did 5 years of high school, I I messed around and I was short like just a little bit in an English credit, but I didn't take high school too seriously, you know. And so, and I knew that I wasn't going to college. You know, I wasn't going to get scholared in. I wasn't an athlete. I wasn't a valedictorian. You know, I wasn't going to get scholared in. I wasn't going to college. My family didn't have the money for me to go to college. I just knew that. So, um, out of high school, I ended up getting a job as a jeweler. So I learned how to be a torch worker and learned how to do a little bit of silver and goldsmithing. And I was setting stones, polishing necklaces and rings. I was resizing rings. You know, you get a wedding band, but it's not the right size or whatever. So you gotta have the right size made. And so yeah, I got into that when I was younger. And right at that time, I had a friend, goes by the name of Brian Bentley. People know him as Bentley or Bentley Glass. And he recently moved away. So he's no longer here, but he's been here in Albuquerque for as long as I have. And we've been the Albuquerque locals and legends since '95. And so he actually learned how to blow glass when he moved up to Eugene, Oregon, right out of high school. So he graduated in '94, and he went up to Eugene, Oregon. He took a quick apprenticeship, and then I guess things didn't work out with him and his girl at the time, his girlfriend. So he ended up moving back to Albuquerque, and he took a 6 month. Well, it was a 1 year apprenticeship, right? But he only was there for 6 months, so he had a little bit of knowledge in glass blowing or lamp working, where we work a torch work, lamp work, glass blowing. lamp working. So he learned how to work in borosilicate glass. That's what we do here. It's different from the soft glass, the glass where they put the big tubes into the furnaces and pull it out. We need to have a really hot flame to get this glass up to, 2,000 degrees for it to get molten. And so he moved back to Albuquerque. He needed a place to live, and I had moved back from. I moved up to Denver, Colorado for a little while. My last year in high school, I moved up to Denver, Colorado. I followed my girlfriend, who went to the Colorado Institute of Art, was a photographer. So I was surrounded with art again up there, right? And at a party, I used to hang out with a bunch of skateboarders and snowboarders. And at a party, we were at a kegger one night. This guy, he busted out this big old rifle case, and it was full of glass paraphernalia, of smoking pipes. Beautiful glass. And it was the first time that I ever picked up my own piece of glass. I paid $60 for it. And that was my first experience with hand-blown glass. I never really knew about it. I didn't realize what, back in the day when I was younger, we went to Mexico, and there were these guys that were, like, selling these, like, big old sculptures, like boats and whatever, that were, it looked like they crocheted the glass. It's a hand-stitch technique. And so I never realized all that was glass or whatever. So when I was older, 18, 19 years old at this time, I had my first experience with hand-blown glass, and it was with smoking accessories. Not realizing that I probably had seen a bunch of necklaces and things like that. And at the time, I was working with hemp jewelry. I was macrameing hemp jewelry and making my own Fimo clay beads, polymer clay beads, and figured out how to make the images where then you cut up a bunch of slices and you have the same image in a log. You just slice them up. And so I learned how to do the Fimo clay, and I was making that kind of stuff when I saw the first case of glass ever. And then I moved back to Albuquerque because I got my girlfriend pregnant, and we ended up deciding to move back here so we could be closer to our family, to our parents, and to all of our relatives, And so then my friend Brian Bentley, he also needed to move back and was coming back from Eugene, Oregon, and he needed a place to live. And so we had a place that had enough room that he could come and stay with us. And he was our roommate, and he told me that if I were to invest in the equipment, that he would teach me everything he knew with blowing glass. And like I said, he only took us 6 months out of a 1-year apprenticeship, but he had learned enough to be able to get us started. And so, fortunately at that time, my girlfriend, or I guess I'd consider her my first wife. I've never been legally married, but anytime you have a child with someone, it's pretty much marriage. That's a bond for life, at least for the existence of your child, right? So, and our relationship didn't work out, but fortunately at the time, her father was very supportive of us and of me, and wanted to just see that we had a good future. So he gave us a loan, or gave us money to invest in what we needed. So I think he gave me about $800, and I bought a bunch of equipment that was all the wrong equipment. We bought welding torches and tools and things, and instead of glass blowing torches, we didn't know where to find any of that kind of stuff. We didn't know where to get uh, clear glass, colored glass, any supplies. You know, it was such a new thing that we were getting into back then. I believe there was only a couple other glass artists here in Albuquerque at the time. One of them was Lewis Wilson, who's a world-renowned glass artist. He was basically at the time that we were getting in, he was already 30 years in, right? Which is what I'm at right now. I'm at 28 years in, so for for someone to just get started right now and then learn about me, that's where I would be with meeting Lewis Wilson for the very first time and getting to he invited us in over to his home studio, and he actually hooked us up with a bunch of color glass from his scrap pile. And he said, yeah, just go ahead and pick out some colors. And he let us play with some of the very first colors that we ever had. We went to a scientific lab to find clear glass rods and tubes. I'm sure those guys probably thought we were weird going in there, these little high school kids. They probably thought that we were like trying to make a bunch of, meth pipes or whatever. But yeah, that's how I got started. Fortunately, it came to me. I was just smart enough to realize I had that opportunity, that I had a father-in-law that was willing to support us in that way and invest in us and into my future. Almost 30 years later, ta-da, I'm still making some beautiful glass. So that is the story of how I got into glass. I didn't really choose to get into glass per se, besides the fact that I chose to be like, okay, let's invest in glass and let me put my time and my energy into this. And then I spent a year blowing glass, perfecting my skill and my trade before I was comfortable with going out into the public. But at that time, we had a living room that we kind of opened up and had display cases set up. And like I said, I was already making Fimo clay beads and macrame hemp necklaces and things, which I don't have any of that. I wish I should probably make one and have one just for nostalgic purposes. All right, let me see if I got the proper glass here to make. Those are split. I'd like to make some hot air balloons. So let me see if I have any more. Uh-oh, am I out? Okay. I might be out of that rod here, so we'll just use a bigger rod. Good. We got this rod. It's going to change up the way it all looks, but that's all right. So mushrooms are cool. Mushrooms are fun to make. I could probably make a couple more. My green and yellow one looks pretty cool. It's like a lime mushroom right there. I don't know if you can really see that color popping out. It's kind of hard to show the color with the lighting that I have in here. I need a backlight behind here to then project out. And the sun's not vibrant enough coming through the window here. Yeah, Fimo clay is really, really awesome. Yeah, that's the very first yellow and green mushroom I've ever made. Normally, when I make them, I make them with the caramel stem, and then I put a little glue into it, and so they look like the actual a psychedelic medicinal mushrooms that a lot of people know about. And then I've learned how to make the Amanita musculera mushrooms that are they have the red dots on top, and those ones are a lot of fun to make too. All right, so let me grab this yellow here. All right, so I'm going to make a really simple balloon right now. We're going to make a hot air balloon just to keep the momentum of the flow going here. That way we don't get bored making the same thing over and over again, even though I know I need to just make as many mushrooms as possible, but I also need to make as many hot air balloons as possible. And I believe I was saying earlier in this feed that we are going to be making balloons for the Albuquerque Balloon Museum gift shop. That'll be coming up very soon. Oh, there it is. So I got a green mushroom, green and yellow mushroom. I figured I might as well make a green and yellow balloon. Now this one here, I did it a little different than I normally do. I don't know why. Probably because it's been a month since I've made them. So I haven't been on my torch in a month, guys, since Balloon Fiesta. But that was so much fun. Being able to be out there every day in crew with Rick Jones and Polar Dawn and our whole entire balloon crew team, and just being out there every day on the field, meeting all kinds of different balloon pilots and crews, and then all the zebras. You know, we got some of our favorite zebras out there, and then some people that come in, they always talk to us. They're the ones that are always launching us and stuff. It's always so much fun to just be out there, meeting all kinds of people. You know, meeting like even you and I, Barbara, we haven't met yet in person. I don't believe, and maybe we have, and yet we don't know. But you know, like even meeting people online and having a whole new community of individuals that I'm now, um, you know, every day posting up different things and liking and sharing and commenting, and you know, it's like a whole new family. And just every year, you just meet new people, and just new people just become part of your life. And I don't know, Balloon Fiesta is just awesome. It's one of those things. It's always been with me since I was young. You know, probably when I first moved here to Albuquerque in like '88, I think is when I first moved out here. I was in 7th grade. I'm sure that first winter, seeing balloons up in the air and seeing them flying was probably amazing for us. And I remember right away our father used to take us out to check out all the hot air balloons in the mornings. And on the weekends, we would go and actually like chase them down and then park and help them out with landing, and then you know helping to get all the air out of the envelope and packing it up, and then sitting on it and squishing out the air. And then as kids, they gave us all these balloon cards, and so that's how I learned about the balloon cards. It's just so amazing. And then, you know, many years later, you know, that was in what, middle school and then high school. And then right out of high school, I started blowing glass. And right away, I started making hot air balloons, because you just see the natural shape. You know, when you're making this, you're like, oh, I could round that up and pull it, and it would be a balloon, you know. And so I've been making hot air balloons since probably about 99, if not sooner, 97. I know I started replicating balloons in 99 when one of the crew members from Cutie Dink, uh, she was a neighbor of mine who lived off of like Phoenix, and I lived at Phoenix and 10th Street. And so she was like one block over, I believe. And I always had my garage door open when I would blow glass for the airflow. And just because, people wanted to see me blowing glass. And, I was just always very friendly and open with my neighbors and stuff. I didn't want them to think I was doing something weird, bringing in oxygen tanks and stuff to the house. It's kind of a weird thing to have these tanks in your home. You're like, well, if your neighbors see you like got these tanks coming in, they're like, what's going on over there? So I just read your thing. So you're gonna get going after this balloon. Okay, I'll try to keep this going. Um, my first balloon fiesta was probably when I was younger, when I was a kid, and my father probably took us as a family, and it was so expensive to take, like the three of us or four of us or however many kids there were that went. I don't know if we all went or only a couple of us went. It's so early in the morning. But probably I would say high school, middle school, or high school. So like late 80s or early 90s, mid 90s. I would have to say in high school before 95. So sometime between 90 and 95 was my very first balloon fiesta that I went to and experienced. And then at that time I had a friend who had a gallery in Old Town. So long ago, like as soon as I started blowing glass, I've been doing live demonstrations in Old Town. And in Old Town, we're always part of the balloon fiesta. We are, they have the balloon fiesta week or whatever. All the tourists come down. It's just something that just naturally occurred. Whether Old Town decided to promote it or not, it just happened. So, because of balloon fiesta and things like that, it was just natural for me to get my balloons into some of the galleries in Old Town and start blowing glass live in front of people. So that was probably, gosh, I know in 97 I was in Old Town doing live demonstrations because I met Joe Diaz, and then and he wanted to do bring the cameras over to where we were because they were doing the Christmas tree lighting ceremony down there. But he couldn't get the crew to go down to where we were. We were right behind the old candy lady on Mountain and Rio Grande right there. We were in a little tiny, it looked like a little casita or whatever, behind the building of where the candy lady is. And I would blow glass right there in the little courtyard. And people would walk by, they'd come and see, and I'd make hot air balloons. But it wasn't until 99 when, let me finish. So in 97, Channel 7 News, they invited me to come out for that, the Christmas tree lighting. So during the holiday stroll, at that time, they told me come on into the studio for the morning show. And so I went in with all of my torch and my, had a table, brought my tools in, whatever I needed, had all the tank, oxygen, propane, everything. And then I had to get there before 5 a.m. So I think it was like 4:30. I was rolling into the station ready to go. And then I was just spitting this piece of glass. I had basically got a tube So really large tube like this with the point on it, so hollow, and I heated up the end of it, added some color to it, and then I just sat here forever for like an hour while I'm waiting for them to come to my segment, right? It's so crazy to how you do these kind of things. And so, oh, I'm gonna have to use that one. Okay, interesting. So, finally they got to me, and I was able to make a glass Christmas ornament on live air on Channel 7. That was in 1997. And so I know I was in Old Town then. Um, by 99, I was replicating the balloons. When whoever, I think I actually heard the name of the individual who it was that bought the balloon from me. Like, I found one of her crew, the crew chief from Cutie Dink. I found him this year. They got all kinds of balloons and all. I met like their whole family of balloonists. They're like, they got, I don't know how many balloons I got to make now in glass. But if it wasn't for her to ask me if I could make a specific balloon off of a balloon card, off of Cutie Dink's balloon card, I don't know if I would have ever have created glass balloons and started replicating them like I do now. So I have to always give thanks to that individual from Cutie Dink. I'm always giving thanks to Cutie Dink for creating something that I never knew would have ever happened, you know. But then, you know, it takes me to actually see that door open, you know, and walk through it, to see that opportunity and then to seize it. So, and I still think to this day, I am the only glass artist in the world that replicates balloons as small as I do. Now, I'm sure that there's a couple individuals who've done some enameling, which is like kind of like glass or kiln work, and they've probably enameled some replicas of balloons, and they were kind of big and maybe ornament size. But for as small as I do, the miniatures and to make that kind of a detail is really, really hard to get that small and intricate. I do believe I am the only glass artist in the world who replicates hot air balloons from balloon cards and from photos and pictures and images like that. All right, so there we go. That's the beginning of the balloon, and now I just got to taper it down to create where the skirting is and all that. My first Fiesta was on the old field, yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to read and everything. And so, yeah, my first Fiesta was probably when I was a teenager, I'm guessing. And then my first crewing for balloons was in 2015. 1999 was when I first started making balloons. And then, you know, we kind of, I guess, cruised, you know, chasing down balloons and getting the balloon cards from individual pilots. So I've chased for balloons for a really long time, probably since I got out here in 88, 89, which I actually got a balloon pin recently from one of our crew members this year, and he had one from like 88 or 89, I don't remember which year, but I was able to get that as just, you know, a special memorabilia of the first year that I probably saw balloons. Oh, you knew the Candy Lady back then. Oh my gosh, you know what was so cool being there? Was every day when they would close shop, the Candy Lady would close shop and we would still be there, you know, like I was working with this lady named Carla Estebane. She had Studio Estebane, and she was a clay potter. She worked in stoneware. She made beautiful fountains and amazing like sculptures where she would get like a piece of wood, like a big old not a branch, but like a portion of a tree, and she would then carve into it to make a line of tubing fit inside of there, and she'd cover it back up with clay, and then she'd sculpt it to make it look like wood again, and she'd hand paint it, cover it up, and then she'd make a beautiful bowl on the bottom, and she'd have the water run through the tree and come out the top and trickle down these handmade pottery bowls, and just beautiful work that she did. But every day after we'd get out of the studio, the candy lady would be closing, and she'd come through her back door right there, because we shared the courtyard. And so she'd come out the back door and she'd be like, "Hey, do you guys want any of these?" And she'd just give me a bag full of all of her, like, all of the strawberries, all the chocolate covered strawberries from the day, because I guess the strawberries wouldn't last overnight and for the next day. So she made fresh, hand dipped chocolate covered strawberries every day. That's one thing I knew about her, because I got I got all the strawberries at the end of the day. That was an amazing perk, being a part of the Old Town um, crew. Like, I was never like officially a part of the association, but I knew Chewy. You know, he used to be the president or whatever, the committee, and there's always all this like bureaucratic stuff going on. But as an artist, like, I got to know so many people and make all these connections with individuals, and it was just so cool. All right, I'm almost done. I'm just perfecting the taper here. Got to make it look like a balloon, right? Then we add a little bit of clear in between, and usually I don't do this with my simple ones, but I'm gonna do it with this one just for the demo purpose. So then I add a little bit of clear glass there to kind of make that empty space between where the skirt is and where the gondola hangs. And I just attach that all there. And then I get my caramel here, the same color I was using for the mushrooms earlier. And I put just a little dot of color right there, elongate it some. And that's how I add a little basket right on there. So now that's done. I can pop this off and I can put this in the kiln. And with it being very simple, I don't even know if I really need to put this in the kiln, because the colors aren't gonna. It's not fragile. It's not very. There's not a lot of stress involved in this. Some pieces of glass, if it's like fully colored, a lot of solid color and stuff, then I really need to make sure I put it in the kiln. And the reason why I'm also not putting things in the kiln right now is just because I'm rushing to get these out the door today, and I know that they'll be fine. They're going to be fine. I'm not worried about that at all. But when I have the time to put it in the kiln for a few hours, then I can do that. And yes, I will have my balloons today over there at the Silver Market, Melissa. If you're in town, come on by and check it out. Let me see if there's anything else. Yeah, I answered that. I was at the old field. I started crewing in 2015 with Rick Jones. So my friend Kevin Painter invited me to crew one year, and he actually was working with other balloons. He was making money with them, and I was volunteering my time with Rick Jones and working during Dawn Patrol. So my friend wasn't there. I got to hang out with a bunch of strangers I didn't know. I was really quiet that first year, very reserved, kind of held back, watching how things worked. But I do believe that first year, I already had glass balloons on me and kind of showing them off. But I didn't know if my pilot was okay with that. So I'm pretty sure I kept them secret from him. Because you don't want to get in trouble with that. You're not supposed to be selling anything unless you're part of the whole if you're part of Balloon Fiesta, International Balloon Fiesta, if you have a vendor's permit. But for this, I'm not trying to go around and sell to just anyone and everyone. And it's not like I got like hundreds of thousands of dollars in inventory or anything. Like, it's just, I make a few balloons, I have them out there. Some people want them because they're a special memorabilia that you can't find anywhere else except from me, from the artist. And then I learned that I can replicate balloons when I meet the pilots and the crews of other balloon teams. And so that's the beauty of being out there every year at Balloon Fiesta, is that I get to meet so many other individuals. And, like I said, I'm not out there trying to hustle and sell glass balloons to all the spectators. I'm really going around and meeting all the pilots and all the crews, and they're right away all, hey, can you make this for me? And they'll be like, sure. And then, bam, come back and make their balloon for them, right? With the 50. I got me a 50 balloon. So everyone's always talked about pins, right? How you got to have all the pins from this year. All the pins from this year. It's like, well, you have all the glass balloons. You'll never be able to have all the glass balloons, because you can always just think of one and be like, oh, can you make me this? That's the cool thing about this. That's what I love about my work. I don't know if like, when I say work, it's like, it's not really work. Hey, Will Taylor's watching. Oh my gosh, good morning. Speaking of other balloon pilots, I do not know if I've ever met Will Taylor in person, but I've made many jack-o'-lantern balloons. That's what I'm going to call them, because they're not specifically anyone's pumpkin balloon yet. Will Taylor has a very specific smile and grin on his balloon that I love. I'm like, whoa, that's a different one compared to the other one that's got the yellow eyes that makes it look like it's glowing. Will Taylor's is the traditional orange and black, and then there's another balloon out there somewhere too. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's all these different pumpkin balloons that I got to replicate to a T, but I've just been making generic jack-o'-lantern balloons, and people buy them. They love them. And I'm sure that's probably why Will made his balloon, because how can you? I mean, that's such an awesome balloon. It's iconic. It's like the mustache, right? With with Derek's balloon, the racer. Oh, let's see. I'm trying to read all these too. But yeah, I made that the mustache, because it's so iconic. Let's see if I can read more. You subscribe. Thank you so much. I'm trying to read all the comments. We should align with the balloon. Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. So that's a hard one, Barbara. Because Rick Jones, him and I were like this during Balloon Fiesta week. I'm the longest crew member that he's had since 2015. In 2 years, it'll be 10 years that I've been with Rick Jones and with Polar. Well, we started with Missing Bear, then started crewing with Polar Dawn, and it's always been for Dawn Patrol. And I get to have a free flight every year. And I guess it's not free because I'm working for it. But for me to blow glass during the Balloon Fiesta week at the museum, it's something that I've thought of. I've been pondering, how am I going to make that work? It's going to have to be after we're back from crewing. We do get back early though, which is cool. I always thought what would be good is if on the field at Balloon Fiesta Park itself, if there was a tent that I could have my torch already set up at, and it was under security every night, and I could just run to the tent every day after crewing, and then just start making, doing the live demonstrations, and maybe even giving out some hot air balloons to, like the first 50 or I don't know, however many. Maybe we do a special raffle for people or however it would work. I don't know how it would work. Um, you know, and if I got paid through the International Balloon Fiesta and they paid me for my demonstration time to be out there, like that would be awesome. To run all the way to the museum, it's not much further, but it is not in the park, and it's not as easy to get back to. And then also, I like to be able to, maybe I can close down shop for a minute and go tailgate for a little while with the crew. But yeah, I would love to be able to align with the Balloon Museum gift shop, which I'm planning to do. I'm starting with the balloons right now before next year. We're going to get as many glass balloons made as possible and then go to the Balloon Museum gift shop and talk to, what's her name? Jan? And I don't remember. But there was an individual who was there, and she already purchased some of my balloons, put them in there. And then I was supposed to come back, and life got crazy, and I ended up making other things. And I didn't stay focused on the glass balloons. So that's why I'm saying, after winning the whole best of show right here, after winning that best of show, because of the 13 original balloons from 1972, the original collection, I will never replicate that collection. That's a one of a kind. That's going to go in the museum eventually. I'm just manifesting that. That is going in the museum eventually. And, maybe it can go to other museums too on a tour before it finds its home at the Albuquerque Balloon Museum. So those are just words that I help to manifest things. But yeah, this journey has been really awesome, and I really appreciate the Balloon Museum's patience with me, because I've taken balloons in and told them, yeah, I'll bring in more and we'll get it going, and then I drop the ball. I'm always the one who's dropping the ball, so I appreciate their patience and they're willing to still work with me. And this year, let's make it happen. Also, I've spoke with a vendor from Vendor Row at the Balloon Museum, or sorry, at Balloon Fiesta at the park. And if we can work out a good deal, I may be able to wholesale him my balloons and actually have my balloons available at the park at Vendor Row. So I may try to make that happen for the first time this year, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. Because if people start hearing about that, he's gonna maybe need a bigger booth. He's got one of the smaller booths, the individual that I'm speaking with, and maybe the other thing is maybe someone else like Discover Balloons or something like that would rather want to pick it up. But for me, it's whoever wants to work with me, kind of first come, first serve situation. Oh yeah, that's true. But my heart is in Fiesta. I'm sure you can understand that, Barbara. Oh my God, you were the first artist to be featured? That is so cool. That is really cool, Barbara. So, As an artist doing what? Making a female, or what sort of art were you doing at that time to get involved? That's really awesome. So you helped with the setting up the website, getting everything going officially for the Fiesta, Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, KAISB, and all the other ones. What was that? Kodak International Balloon Fiesta? The Kodak Albuquerque? I understand that, having to secure all the different domain names before anyone else does. I build websites on the side as well. I'm a like a Renaissance artist. I do everything. I'm a handyman and all this stuff. I do so many different side jobs and side projects. But yeah, I really do need to stay focused on the glass balloons. I know this is a big opportunity, and if I let it go again, I can't let it go again. That's the thing. We're working on this. We're making this happen now. That's a story for another time. All the stories we got to share, right? That's why I go live all the time. This right here is like my biography. This is my autobiography right here on video. That's what I basically figured out. The glass man's world. Like, what is this all about? I'm just sharing this for eventually my children will be able to go back and watch all the videos and be able to see everything that their daddy ever accomplished in life. Maybe I wasn't able to get like the biggest mansion, or wasn't able to get like the most expensive vehicles, or this or that or whatever, but the experiences that I've been able to have in my life, and the individuals I've met, and just the glass man's world, my whole little world here. I'm really hoping that eventually one day it'll serve as just a beautiful memory to my family, my friends, and the world, and to other individuals. And maybe it'll be a way to inspire others on how they can just live life as fully as they possibly can, and not try to get too stuck in the whole 9 to 5 job game and all these other different things, and try to stay as childlike as you possibly can, to laugh and love and have fun, and enjoy life through art and music. I'm also a musician, if you didn't know that, Barbara. One day, I'll perform on that stage at Balloon Fiesta. That would be cool. There's so many things I'd like to do. And one day, you'll see all of that on my videos here at the Glassman's World, or on my Facebook channel here. So we're live on YouTube and Facebook right now, for those of you who are watching. And if you want to get any glass balloons from me, go to facebook.com/glass hot air balloon. That's where you'll find me. For now, I do have a website I've been building for a long time, and I just need to update the photos. My issue right now, my biggest issue, is that my memory is basically it's done, and I need to get an external hard drive so I can move all of my files and things like that, and I can actually utilize my computer for designing and things like that. All right, you have a beautiful day, Barbara. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. And we will get together one day and we'll do that interview, and we'll talk a lot about all the glass balloons and the glass art, and my whole history on all this stuff and everything. Talking about being in Old Town and making all the balloons down there, and getting involved, and being featured on the news, winning Best Glass Blower in 2008 through the Albuquerque, the Weekly Alibi publication, winning Best of Show 2003 last year at the Expo New Mexico State Fair, being the only glass artist in the world who replicates glass hot air balloons this small and this detailed. I've created so many other things, gifting out the drop of water to 3,806 water protectors so far. That's just the amount that I've given away, that I've gifted, that I've honored individuals. And most of those individuals I've actually had the time to meet individually and to share stories with them and have them share their story with me. And that's one thing too, is eventually I'd love to have those stories on the dropofwater.com or whatever website that we'll have eventually. Glass balloons will be up at a website soon, so look out for that. You'll be able to order through facebook.com/glass hot air balloons for now. So just send me a private message there, a direct message, and send me your photograph, your image, your picture, your balloon card, whatever it is that you'd like me to make. Just ask if you think I can make that. Replicas start at $40 and up. These simple ones are $20, and I can do a wholesale for anyone who's interested in selling these balloons. However, for right now, I'm probably going to be focused on the Albuquerque Balloon Museum gift shop and getting these balloons in there right away for before summertime. You know, maybe even by this spring, we already have a line of glass balloons in there, ready to go. And yeah, we're just manifesting here, making things happen. I'm speaking out loud and manifesting. But I'm pretty sure it's about that time that I probably need to pack up and get ready to go. So here's one more balloon that I'm making for the day. I got 2 balloons. It ain't much, but at least I have something to show and to share. And I'll get on the torch this week, and we'll make a whole lot more balloons and all kinds of beautiful things. This color, what color did I use? It looks like it's all, I don't know, I think it's yellow and peacock, like a light blue. It's going to look beautiful when the yellow and the peacock all come together. So it's a different color right now because the heat makes the yellow look red, but when it cools down, then you'll see that yellow pop out of there, and it'll look beautiful. And let me see if I can show you the other balloon that I just finished making. Usually by the time that I make one, the last one that I got done making is complete. So there's the yellow and green hot air balloon right there. That one's ready to go for $20, guys. And here's this one here. Alright, so we'll let that cool. I'm not using a count, so I'm just going to turn that off. And I'm done for the day. We'll make some more stuff, guys. Here's the solid color, 1 color mushroom compared to the 2 color. So you can see the difference in look. So, you know, people really love that detail of the 2 color. And a lot of people are willing to pay $10. But like I said, I do them for 3 for $20. And I'm always, because I make them and I know how quickly I can make them, and because of my experience, that's why I can make them so quickly, because I've been doing this for 28 years now. So because I've been doing it for so long, I know I can make them quick enough to where I can play with the prices, and I can keep my prices low, competitively low, affordable, even affordable for children, those who have their own allowance and things like that. And then I can do those specials, you know, even if there's not a holiday or whatever, it's still always, you know, if it's $10 or 3 for $20, always, you know, if they're $20, I normally do 3 for 40. You know, like I just like whatever it is, just double the price and we'll add an extra one for free. Buy two of them, I give you one for free. That's pretty much how it works. So if you want to ever get any glass, if you want to get any gifts or handmade cards, don't forget gift and card. Um, Come and find us. We'll be over there on Silver Street in between Wellesley and Bryn Mar today. I will have what I have. I don't have much today, but you can place your orders with me. You can come grab these that I just made today. If anyone wants these, where in Nob Hill will I be? That's right on Silver Street, in between Wellesley and I believe that's Bryn Mar, but just west of Wellesley. So right behind where the old Kelly's Brew Pub. I don't remember what that place is called now. Right behind the old Highway Hotel, which is now closed, and they're selling. Hey, what's going on, Zarek? I see you're watching. I'm about to get going. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll be over there in Nob Hill today from hopefully from 10 till 3 or 4. The weather looks beautiful, blue skies. So depending on if we're busy or not, I'll stay out there as long as I can. All right, you guys, much love, blessings. You guys have a beautiful day. I'm going to let you all go now. Have a good one.